All right, so before I bring up the officers, real quickly, we have a dear friend from Marcus and Millichap, and I want to make sure I read his title. Peter Nichols is the National Director of the Hospitality Group. Now, one of the things that we committed to, especially this year, and you're going to see in the slide presentation in just a minute, is to make sure that we get our members as much important information as we possibly can for you to make the right decisions. Marcus and Millichap does that. We actually have an entire Marcus and Millichap report we send out to all AAHOA members once a month. If you're not on the email list, you're not going to get it, but it's absolutely free. He's going to come up for about 3 minutes and pop through these slides.
At this point, why is that? It's at that record high because we have low fuel costs, we have a strong economy, and it's growing. And that's what we're seeing here. So, is there a clicker here? If you'll flip over to the next, terrific.
Already did.
You're going to keep me 3 minutes, aren't you? So we've got all this new travel and new business coming into your hotels. But I think maybe it was John or maybe it was you, Chip, that mentioned we need to build more hotels. We still haven't matched where we were at this point in the cycle in 2008 when we peaked in the last peak of the cycle. We're 29% below from a new development standpoint. Now, why is that important? It's important because demand is growing, but it's not growing at 4, 5, 6%. It's growing at 1 or 2%. So we're being much more disciplined this time at this point in the cycle than we were last time at this point in the cycle. So we're not seeing that overbuilding in marketplaces. Yes, there are some cities, there are some locations that do have a very hot market, a lot of new development. But as a general overview of the country, we're not seeing that. That discipline is going to be key as we move forward into the next point in the cycle. So these are the states where the most significant development is going on. You can see in Florida, in Texas, in North Carolina, Tennessee. Some of that's oil patch that was growth at the beginning of the year. But really, it's centered around a lot of the major metropolitan locations. So we flip to the next slide. Here's a great illustration of what I was just talking about with supply and demand and that growth pattern. You can see at the peak of the cycle in 2008, we were at 2.8% of our overall supply was coming on board in new development, and yet demand was waning and dropping off, and that's what created or contributed to the last major downturn. If you look here in 2015 and 16, what you're seeing is a much more measured growth rate in terms of new supply. Demand is still above and outpacing it. We don't think that those two numbers are going to cross until we get into 2017. And even if that does happen, we don't believe it's going to have a significant impact at this point because it's very, very close, 1.8 versus 1.5% new demand.
Marcus and Millichap, if you like what you saw right there, they provide us with this amazing report each month tailored just to AAHOA members, and it's yours free, but if we don't have your email address, I can't send it to you. So if you go to the website, you can give us your email address. We got my team here, they'll take your email address, but you'll see some other things that we send you for free, but again, it's all linked to your email address. All right, let me bring up our officers. Our chairman from Dallas, Texas, Bruce Patel. Our vice chairman from
South Carolina. No, Congressman Joe Wilson. Isn't that amazing to have a congressman here speaking in front of us? Having our governor write a letter in order to address us. You know, having the state association president addressing you. I mean, how far we've come, if you really think about it. Let me ask you a question. How many of you in this room were born in India or England or Africa? Raise your hand. Look around this city, or Panama. I'm glad from Panama. Now let me tell you why that's important. Because sometimes, like Congressman Joe Wilson said, our story, as he knows, the entrepreneurial spirit, the immigrant story, he lets everyone and describes this story to everyone. But sometimes we don't tell the story enough. You know, if you look at the folks around this room, your family, my family, someone in our family, we came to this country 20, 30, 40 years ago. Look at Mahesh Bhai's family. Our South Carolina Regional Director, our board member on our 33 board in AAHOA. He came here a couple decades ago. And when he came to this country, he knew 2 words. This is a true story. He knew the words, thank you, and I'm sorry. Because he knew at some point he's going to have to say thank you, and if the next few sentences that come out of that person's mouth, he's not going to understand, and he's going to have to say, I'm sorry. And think about that. What was going on in his mind when he came to this country with nothing? He had to borrow money. He got a job at a Days Inn when he came 20 years ago. He said to himself, look, I got a communication problem. I got a language barrier. But I can't have that stop me. He said, I got a financial barrier, but I can't have that stop me. And he certainly didn't know what America was all about, the laws in this country, and the culture of America. He had a cultural barrier in this country. All of us can relate to that. Our family members can relate to that. But then, let me tell you, 2 years. It took him 2 years. He learned the language in 2 years. He borrowed money, and he bought the motel that he was working at in 2 years. Think about that. That motel, a 31-unit Days Inn, is where he and his wife worked every shift. They cleaned every room. They did all the laundry. They did the maintenance. And in 2 years after buying it, he paid back the money that he borrowed in order to buy that property in the first place. Think about that. That's a story. And you look back, you look today, fast forward to today. Mahesh Bhai, he'll tell you himself, he's proud that he's able to stand here in front of you as a leader in this community, as the board member representing you today, and actually introduce the letter from Governor Nikki Haley. Thank you. Great job, Mahesh Bhai, for your accomplishment. And we appreciate everything that you've done. This is the story of the American dream. It's your story. It's my family's story. It's all of our story. Certainly, if you think back 27 years ago, when the Indian immigrant story was here, buying and living in motels, it was the Rama family, and I'm appreciative that we have R.P. Rama here. It was the Rama family that said that we got to unite our voice because we have to be able to have strength in numbers. And it was them, along with many other folks, that went door to door in order to raise membership in AAHOA. And you look at fast forward to today, you look at us all around this room and all around this country, an ethnic group that represents less than 1% of the population in this country, owning almost half the hotels in it. That's amazing. It's crazy. It's psychotic, one that we need to cherish. That's the American dream. That's what Congressman Joe Wilson was talking about. That's what you and me and all of us need to tell everybody. They need to see how hard we've worked, how hard our families have worked. And we second-generation hoteliers that didn't raise our hand, that was born here and raised in America, that's the value system that's going to help propel us. And that's the value system I'm telling you right now that AAHOA takes to heart. And that's how AAHOA in 27 years has got how far we've gotten. That's the American dream story, and that's something that now at AAHOA, we realize we have to continue to protect. And that's one thing that we take very seriously. So we today, my fellow officers that are here with me, we're going to go through this presentation. We're going to tell you exactly how AAHOA is helping to make you money, save you money, and more importantly, protect this American dream and your investment. Let's start by piggybacking off to what Peter had talked about, the industry today. Take a look at this slide. We partner with Marcus & Millichap, we partner with STR. And if you are an AAHOA member, you get not only the Marcus & Millichap report, but you also get an STR report, a Smith Travel Research report, by state for the whole nation every single month. So if you don't have your email address with AAHOA, you need to get that because this is valuable information you're missing out. Look at this slide. As of September 2016, you're going to see year-to-date how the industry is doing. And you'll see what Peter was talking about. The supply and demand has caught up to each other. Yes, it's been disciplined. It hasn't been as erratic as the last cycle. But at the end of the day, you should be aware of the fact that in the middle of that screen on the last column, there's a 0. And that means our occupancy is flattening out. That's just important for you to know as an operator so you can make better operational decisions. Our 3.2% RevPAR growth is declining compared to years past. Again, information you need to know. Take a look at by segment, from economy all the way to upscale. Good news, compared to last year, this year's better. We all know that. But let's dive into your region particularly. And let's go to the two major cities of Greenville and Columbia. These are the RevPARs for those two cities. They're below the national average. They're doing decent, especially the Greenville area. And if you look at from an occupancy perspective, this year is better than last year for both of these cities. And if you look at from an average daily rate, good news is that we've been able to grow the rate in both of these city metros compared to last year. And if you look at the forecast given to us by partnering with CBRE, let's start with the U.S. lodging in general. And again, similar to what Peter was saying, our RevPAR is not going to grow as quickly as it did in the past. Now, while we're a disciplined cycle, it is a cycle that is slightly declining. Now, whether we'll have an end and go down, or what Peter was talking about, kind of dip and then come back up, we will see. We were hoping for the second option because we want our economy to continue to grow. The fact that supply and demand is kind of evened out, and next year we're looking at supply actually overtaking demand slightly, should again just give you a wind of caution. Maybe not scare you, but at least be a little bit cautious about how you operate and develop in your areas. If you look at Charleston, this is the forecast from CBRE for Charleston. Take a look at those last two columns, 2016 year end and 2017. And you'll see that demand is growing at a decent pace, especially this year compared to supply. And next year, it evens out somewhat. So the RevPAR this year ending is pretty good at 5.5% for the entire lodging in Charleston. But next year, it does look like it's going to decline. And how far it declines, we'll see based on our ability to keep rate. And if you look at lower priced hotels, which are limited service hotels, it's a little bit of a gloomier picture for 2017, mainly because of the increased supply coming into the Charleston area. So again, the ability to retain that RevPAR is a little bit harder on limited service hotels. If you look at Columbia, for example, pretty good picture for all hotels. You'll see that demand is outpacing supply both at the end of this year and next year, being able to keep a RevPAR percentage increase of over 5 and over 4 in the following year. So pretty healthy. If you look at the lower priced hotels or limited service hotels in Columbia, you'll see an even better picture. You'll see that the supply is almost non-existent for limited service hotels for the end of this year and next year. But however, the demand is still increasing, which is good news for you if you own or building property in Columbia near limited service hotels. So again, any of this information that you need, you want to be able to get at your fingertips, and you want to get it for your area, go to Marcus and Milchek, go to STR website, and go to CBRE, because they can all help you. So how is AAHOA faring compared to the industry? Let's take a look at AAHOA's numbers real quick. Look at this slide here next to me. What an amazing stat. It's your story. An upward trajectory. Almost 16,000 members plus today. Last year we broke the record. Jimmy announced on the stage 15,000 members plus. We're already added another 1,000 members to that. That's an amazing story. And our lifetime members are at a record pace, growing at a record pace. So it's great to see the enthusiasm and engagement by AAHOA members. And of course, how many of you here were at our Nashville annual conference earlier this year? Raise your hand. A lot of you. You saw what we saw, almost 5,000 attendees. Another record breaker for AAHOA. And if you look at whenever you have a record-breaking attendees of 5,000, you're always going to have record-breaking vendor partners that want to do business with you. That's another hallmark of the AAHOA conference is our trade show. So mark your calendars, April 11th to 14th next year in San Antonio, because we expect even more than the 5,000 attendees that we hit in Nashville. We expect even a larger trade show, a more robust general session and educational seminar offering. So right now, you know, and like I know, the bookings and the rooms go quick. So register as quickly as you can. If you're a lifetime member of AAHOA, you get free registration again this year, thanks to your board of directors. And Mahesh Bhai was one of those folks that helped pass that. So thank you very much again. So you may ask yourself, wow, okay, in these quick few slides, what an amazing story. Why is AAHOA's growth so large? Why is the platform getting so big? Why is our footprint getting so large in this industry? How come so many second-generation hoteliers are coming to AAHOA and joining AAHOA? Why are so many women hoteliers joining AAHOA and joining our board, like Benita and Jagruti? Why are so many independent hoteliers joining AAHOA? Really, there's only one answer, because it's pretty simple. AAHOA is the only association in this country that caters exclusively to hotel owners. You see, whether it's advocacy, one member at a time and helping them, whether it's any one of these 170 events that AAHOA offers so you can network and meet and share best practices, or whether it's any one of these professional development initiatives, like our webinars, seminars, and workshops that we offer. AAHOA is helping thousands of hotel owners get more engaged and connected in this industry that really is requiring nothing less. So let's talk about how AAHOA does this. It's kind of cool how somebody just got delivered 2 years.
That's hospitality.
That's hospitality. You know, right in here, a group of owners say, hey, give me a couple beers. That's pretty good, really. So anyway, let's talk about how AAHOA is helping you. The first thing that AAHOA realized several years ago, we have to make relationships. Who do we have to make relationships with? Well, obviously people in Congress, obviously people at our state, but also people we do business with. The folks on this screen are brands that a lot of us do business with. So several years ago, we realized where we didn't have a relationship with any one of these folks here on this screen, we created one. And where we had a relationship, we strengthened it. We did that by various ways. One, we said, hey, you guys come to our events. Number two, we'll come to your event. We'll host a Brand Alliance meeting at your annual conference. But all in all, here's the million-dollar question. What is AAHOA doing with these relationships that it's building and these connections that we're making? This is the most important slide that you should pay attention to. Because this slide tells you how AAHOA is helping you, the AAHOA member, the individual owner, the person that may have a problem and you don't know who to go to because you don't have somebody that can pick up the phone and actually make something happen to you. Well, those folks are calling AAHOA. This year alone, AAHOA has helped over 300 AAHOA members with their problems. 40% of those problems, yes, were with brands, dealing with termination, impact, and other things. But 60% of problems that people call in with at AAHOA deal with so many other issues, things that they're just not used to. Lawsuits, somebody not checking out after a month. What do I do? Wi-Fi lawsuits. What is this guy? This guy's suing me because he's saying I'm infringing on some copyright and patent information on Wi-Fi. What is this all about? Well, these are the kinds of questions and solutions that AAHOA can help provide in order to solve these problems. You're not always going to get the solution that you want, but I can promise you AAHOA is going to fight to get a win-win solution, whether it's with the brand or whether it's with the vendor partner, or guide you in the right way from the legal aspect to get you until you get your attorney representing you. That's what people are looking for, help. Matter of fact, in the last 3 months alone, we've probably helped stop half a dozen terminations from various brands. That's success. That's what we're doing with these relationships. We're working for you. And we could fill this entire screen up with photos of people that we've helped, as you know. And they're proud to say, yeah, put my photo up there, because you helped me, and I thank you for that. So that's my intro to this presentation. Now, I'd like you to pay attention to the member benefits of what AAHOA is doing and how you can utilize the member benefits offered to you. And for that, I'd like to bring to the stage your very own treasurer, H.P. Patel, and your newly elected secretary, Jagruti Panwala. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruce. And as our chairman just mentioned that we crossed over 16,000 members. With that, we want to make sure that we're providing the right product and services to make sure that we're helping all of your business. So we'll go over a few of the benefits. Of course, there's a lot more benefits that you can check out on the AAHOA website. The first one is Chase, and you guys are all familiar with Chase. Just one quick thing about Chase is that if you're not a member, and if you sign up with Chase, your membership is free for the year. I have Chase at all my properties, and they really have a great support system. So if you need a good credit card processing system, make sure you check out Chase.
Another program that we started last year is the AAHOA MasterCard.
The AAHOA MasterCard has no annual fee. You get 1.5 points for every dollar you spend, and it comes with high credit limits. So if you're in the process of renovating or purchasing goods for your property, this is one avenue that you can use for funding. And also, I know everybody loves AAHOA golf shirts. So if you do apply for the AAHOA MasterCard and you are approved, we'll ship you a brand new AAHOA golf shirt. So please consider applying for that.
Also, how many of you have HBO at your property? Really, not that many here. Okay, a lot of them. So this is something that you might not be aware of, that if you're a AAHOA member and if you sign up with HBO, you get $9 per room for the year, which means that if you have an 80-unit property, it's a $720 rebate. So if you're not an AAHOA member, it's easy to become a member because it's $159. The rebate is $720 for the first year.
At one point or another, everyone in this room either built or bought a hotel. And what do you need? You need financing. Areas Capital provides just that. They provide non-recourse loans and even permanent loans. And as a special incentive for all AAHOA members, they'll give you 5% back of your closing fees. So if you're in the process of building or refinancing your property, please contact Areas Capital. For all the independent hotel owners in the room, Milestone Marketing, what they do for your hotel, they'll come to your hotel, revamp your website, and they'll give you search engine optimization. They'll also open up the channels for GDS bookings, online travel bookings. So it's another avenue that you can generate revenue for your hotel. I personally use it, and my revenue has increased over 30% in the last 6 months. So if you are looking to revamp your website and also want to get online optimization and bookings, please contact Milestone Marketing.
So we had a young professional focus group a little bit early on, and one of the questions Neil asked me, how many events do you guys host? Well, we host 170 events a year, 100 town halls, 20 regionals, legislative events, independent conference, women's conference, young professional conference, all the brand events. So if there is an event coming up in the area, it's really a good place for you to network. And I know that all the young professionals are saying that whenever they have a smaller event and something's for, especially for YP, they're attending it. So for all the members, if there's an event, it's a great place for you to network with your other hoteliers. These are all our AAHOA founding members. So, they're partners with us, they're investing with us. So as a member, if you're looking for our products and services, please check out our AAHOA founding members.
AAHOA is committed to provide the best educational sessions at all our events. We want to ensure that every single AAHOA member is well educated and informed to make you a better hotel owner and operator. One program that we offer is our CHO program, the Certified Hotel Owner Program. The Certified Hotel Owner Program is a complimentary program for all AAHOA members. It's a 5-day classroom setting workshop, and it consists of 9 distinct modules. And the modules range from operations, human resources, to technology. So if you are interested in getting your CHO, you can go online at AAHOA.com, and you can actually take all the modules online too. So if you don't have time to go to the classroom for 4 days and take the test, you can take it at the convenience of your home and go to where the CHO is being administered.
So another thing that, we're hosting webinars, and I know that some of the times when I'm talking to members, so we get so many emails. Well, the webinars such as the issues that are affecting us as a hotel owners, music licensing, and also the drive-by lawsuits. So when you're receiving these emails, make sure you check it out. Also, if you are not able to watch the live webinar, they are already stored on AAHOA website. So whenever you have time, just go to AAHOA website and you'll be able to watch these webinars. These 2 programs and workshops we're really excited about. The first one is how to form a management company. Now, as you can see, it's already sold out, but I want to tell you a little bit about it. So, we're in the hospitality industry. Some of us might have 1 hotel, 2 hotels, and 3 hotels. This is a perfect way to centralize your operation. So we're hosting this program in Dallas, Texas on November 29th and 30th. There is a wait list over there. If we are going to be hosting another one next year, but if you're interested in attending, get on the waiting list. So next year, automatically, you'll be the first one to get on this program. This is a great program if you're looking to form a management company. Second one, we're really excited about is how to develop a new hotel. Again, when I was talking to young professionals today, this is something that they were so excited about because they're in the hospitality, they're in the hotels, but they're working with their parents, but they've never had a chance to build the property from ground up. And this workshop is going to concentrate on looking at construction site, looking at the design, which is the right brand for your project. So this is again great workshop. It's going to be March 2nd and 3rd. This one is not sold out yet, so please register early.
We also started a series of young professional brand workshops. We had one earlier this summer at the Hyatt headquarters in Chicago, and we just had one 2 weeks ago at the Hilton headquarters. This is a chance for the young professionals to actually go to the corporate headquarters of the brands, meet the executives, find out what it takes to actually develop one of the brands, see which brand is right for your site. And as soon as you go, you meet all the executives, and also you get to go through each department, finding the right site, finding the right brand, for getting financing, construction, opening your hotel. So if you are interested in developing one of these brands, this is your chance. Both these events got sold out in less than 30 minutes, and we're going to have more coming up next year, Marriott's one and Hyatt's one too. So if you are interested, please contact Benita, who's here. She's our Young Professional Director at Large, so she can give you more information on how you can get engaged at these workshops.
And following the Young Professional Brand Workshop, I mean, I was really excited. This is the first time we've done Women's Brand Workshop, which was at Choice this year. We had about 30 ladies over there. I was there with a lot of my women's committee members, and it was a great event because we had an opportunity to meet with all the Choice executives. And this is just only for the women of AAHOA. So we will be doing more of this event. Please join us because as we get more participation, especially from the women, we can do more of these brand events to further educate them. So hopefully next year we'll have a few more, and hopefully I'll see the ladies here. And gentlemen, please tell your spouse that there are stuff like this that AAHOA is doing. It's not just about the regionals or town halls. It's about us developing ourselves personally and professionally.
So as you saw today, we had an educational seminar, and we do these at every single regional. We do it at our annual convention, and some of the topics that we range from is smart financing, making online travel agencies work for you, free money, what are you leaving on the table, and avoiding lawsuits, understanding unemployment laws, and especially now with the ADA lawsuits going around. So take advantage of the seminars and the workshops that we have at all our events.
So everything that HP and I just mentioned, you know, all the conferences, all the events that we're doing, the membership is only $159. So I urge you, if you're a hotel owner, there's no reason why you should not be an AAHOA member, and the membership fee is $159.
And also, AAHOA is the only association that can provide you these benefits. And the reason being is because we are 16,000 hotel owners strong. So we need your engagement. We need your participation. This is your association. Without your support, we cannot keep doing what we're doing. And if you are a regular member, please consider becoming a lifetime member. As our chairman just said earlier, 2017 convention in San Antonio, all AAHOA lifetime members will get free registration for husband and spouse. And also for the 2018 convention in Washington, D.C., the board recently passed that too, so we'll be extending the complimentary registration. So please consider becoming a lifetime member. And if you need further information, you can see any of our staff members. Ushma is right there in the corner. And you can also go on AAHOA.com to get more information. Again, I just want to say thank you, and thank you for coming to our great regional. Now I'd like to introduce our Vice Chairman, Bhavesh Patel, and our President and CEO, Chip Rogers, will give you an advocacy update.
So I think it's almost dinner time. The beer is beginning to flow, which means our time on stage is probably somewhat limited before you guys get a little too rowdy. So we will go through this rather quickly. We're here to talk about advocacy tonight, but honestly, since Donald Trump won the presidency, it's all done. We're good. I'm just kidding. There's still importance of doing this stuff. Here are some of the victories we had. We're not going to focus on that because I want to talk quickly about some of the challenges that we have this year. Some major things that are happening that could still impact your business, right? Because it's not just about who the president is. You still got Congress, you still got your state legislature, you still got cities and counties. They're always wanting to mess with your business. And I can promise you, if there's not somebody there fighting on your behalf, bad things will happen. Sometimes bad things happen because people don't know. It's not like they're trying to mess with your business. They don't understand your business. How many hoteliers are there in Congress? Sherrod says one, I say zero, but not many, right? Right? 535 members of Congress, no hoteliers. That's not good. So we got to go there and let them know what is on our mind, how you run your business, how the things they're trying to do impact your bottom line, because they do, right? We know that Obamacare insurance is going up 25, 30%. That's just for you individually. If you're offering it to your employees, that number is going through the roof. We're talking about thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of impact on your business every single year. So some of the big things we're looking at, we'll start with the joint employer, then I'll talk about one more.
Yeah, so really quick, as Congressman Wilson came in and spoke to us earlier, he talked about the NLRB changing definition of what it means to be a joint employee in our business. More or less, who's liable for the employees of our business. This is going to shake up the entire franchise model, and let me show you how. Right now, we're the ones that are hiring, firing, putting the wages out there, what the benefits are going to be. We design our training with our employees. Well, this rule comes into place, then the brands are the ones that are going to be dictating who you hire, who you fire, set the wages, set the benefits. We're going to lose all control. Let me give you another example of how this is going to impact you. Right now, how many of you in this room outsource your landscaping at your businesses? Majority of you guys do, right? Well, what if I was to tell you that if this rule comes into place, you would be liable for the employees of this landscaping business? This is how this rule could be interpreted. We're going to lose all control over our property, and the brands are going to take more control. So what's AAHOA doing? Well, AAHOA is going back and changing, talking to our congressmen and senators, just like Congressman Wilson, changing the definition to what it was before the NLRB changed it. And it's not that the brands want this, it's not that we want this, it's the unions that want it, as Congressman mentioned. Right? It's the unions that are trying to do this. It's easier for them to unionize with the brands instead of going to individual properties.
All right, the last one I'll talk about is down here at the bottom, predatory lawsuits. Right, this is actually really, really bad, and I want to tell you how bad it is. But I want to relate something to something Bruce said just a minute ago, because all this actually really matters, right? He told an incredible story about Mahesh, right? Mahesh, if in your first year someone would have filed a lawsuit against you and you had to pay $20,000, it might have destroyed your business that year. He may not be here. He may not have the business he has today if that type of thing happened. And the reason I tell that story is because in this room is the greatest example that I know of today's version of the American dream, right? But we have an obligation to protect that for the next generation, right? The Mahesh of today, if he starts a hotel and he gets hit by one of these crazy lawsuits and it puts him out of business, we just destroyed that American dream, right? So yeah, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was actually easier to do business than it is in America today. And part of the reason we get so involved in these things is because it's not just about the people that are here today, but it's about the people that are going to be sitting in this room 10 years from now. And we want them here by even a bigger number. We want to have a bigger place. We want to move to a bigger hotel. We can't do that if government and these type of crazy things continue to crush the American dream, and it's happening. So real quickly on predatory lawsuits, bottom line is this. 88 lawsuits, Americans with Disability Act lawsuits. 2 years ago, 3,500 lawsuits. This year, it's over 7,000. Here's how the shakedown works, just so you know. You might get a lawsuit filed against you. It's happening again, 7,000 in the U.S. this year. And it might allege that you violated the ADA. If you call an attorney, the attorney's going to say, I need a $10,000 retainer to begin working on this case. Then what's going to happen is the person who sued you most likely is going to call you and say, you know what, I can make that lawsuit go away for $8,000. So here you are at the hotel. You haven't done anything wrong. You paid the attorney $10,000 to start, or you pay the other attorney $8,000 to make it go away. Now you get a lot of those around the country, we're talking real money, but that is exactly what's happening. And we're fighting it in Congress, and we're actually beginning to have some success. Maybe with the new administration we'll have even more success. But if we could get a law that says if you get sued, you got 90 days to fix the problem, and if you fix the problem, the lawsuit goes away, how good would that be for every business owner in America? That is what we're fighting for. Same thing's happening at the state level. The gentleman that was here earlier talked about these occupancy taxes, about how they're taking the money that you're having to collect and spend it to buy buildings. It has nothing to do with tourism. We had a case in Florence, Alabama, where they wanted to actually raise the occupancy tax to go buy tennis courts. That has nothing to do with tourism. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are driving to Florence, Alabama to say, oh, let me go play tennis. But that's not happening, right? So if there's nobody there checking on these people, they will do crazy and bad things to help your business. Another thing is short-term online rentals.
Yeah, I mean, again, 30-day rentals, as John mentioned, he's talked about Airbnb, so we don't want to go into it, but again, we're making sure that they're playing on the same playing field as we are.
So last thing, two things is we're having great success on Capitol Hill. It's really beginning to work.
Couple of things that we're doing on Capitol, as Chip mentioned, Capitol Hill is we do one big delegation, we do one small delegation. Larger one was this spring in conjunction with AAHOA. We had close to 600 attendees with over 400 members. I think some of you guys in this room participated in that. Also, we do a smaller one in the fall. We take our ambassadors as well as our board members, and we talk to our congressmen and senators, and we do some small monthly delegations as well. The other thing is, a few years ago, we used to go to DC and talk to our congressmen and senators, explaining who AAHOA is and what we do. Now they're calling us and using us as resources. As you can see, two of our board members testified. Our own Jagrati testified on joint employee. Vinay Patel, our board member, testified as well. This year, just a few months ago, we had a member, Millie Shaw, testified on ADA, as Chip mentioned. So we're doing a lot of things in DC nowadays, representing our members. But a couple ways where we need your help is, number one, when Chip Rogers, a president, sends out an email like this, it's a call to action. And basically, it's a letter already done. All you got to do is put in your name, put in your address, put in your email, and hit the send button. Simple as that. The letter is going to go to your congressman, it's going to go to your senator. Your representatives are going to get that. You'll get an email back acknowledging that they've got that. Second way where you can help, again, I think many of you guys did this on Tuesday, is make sure you go out and vote for the right candidates, right? Whether it's on the federal level, the state level, or the local level. Third way where we really need your help is a political action committee, PAC, right? This is where we're really going to make the difference.
All right, so if our chairman would join me for just a minute. Political Action Committee, we're almost done. I can smell the food, I promise. The Political Action Committee is the single most important, legal, and best way to take where we are in the political world and become influencers. As I mentioned just a moment ago, you got all these people in elected office, none of them are hotel owners. How do you tell your story? Can you just call them up and say, hey, I want to spend a couple hours with you today and tell you all about my business? They're probably going to say no. If you call them up and say, hey, I got a PAC check I want to give you, they're probably going to say yes, right? So this is the greatest door opener that there ever was, right? And so it's like if someone came to your hotel and said, hey, I really like your hotel, I'd like to stay here for free tonight, you're going to say no. Or if they came and said, I really like your hotel, I'm going to give you $200, you're going to say yes. Money talks. Here are the people that we support here. Many of these you know. Hopefully every one of them you know, right? This guy right here is he's a CPA, I believe, isn't he? Who has tons of AAHOA members as his clients up in the great Myrtle Beach area. Everybody knows Congressman Wilson. These are the people that your investments are keeping in office. South Carolina, #2 in the country for people moving in. That's because you've got a great thing going here. Let's not mess it up.
Let me tell you a quick story about Congressman Mick Mulvaney. A few months ago, we were in D.C. And we were walking the halls, and Congressman Mulvaney was there. And he saw us, and he goes, what are you guys doing here? We just met with you guys last month. I go, we're talking to other congressmen and senators. He goes, come on in the office. Let me talk to you guys for a little bit. So he talked to us for almost 45 minutes. He went out of his way, out of his heavy schedule, and talked to us for about 45 minutes. And as we were leaving, his chief of staff came up to us, and he said, look, AAHOA is #4. They had a list of priorities, 1 to 10. AAHOA was #4. That's the kind of relationship we have in Washington.
You know, the reality is, I started this presentation off with the word relationships and how we're building relationships. Well, the single biggest tool for an association that's mature like us, that's financially stable like us, that's structurally sound like us, is to build relationships in DC through this PAC fund. This Political Action Fund has allowed us to do that in Washington, DC. And while Chirag and his team that work every day for AAHOA members in Washington, D.C., trying to make and establish and retain these relationships, the reality of it is, if we don't help them get elected in the first place, then really we may not even have a chance at the table in order to talk to them about our problems. We're seeing that. You know, if you look 6 years ago, when AAHOA really started getting into the government affairs initiatives, you saw us getting meetings with staffers, with bottom level staffers at that time. Fast forward to today, you know, we're there every month. We won't even meet with folks if they're not a congressman and the senator himself, or at the very minimum, the chief of staff. Because that's where our relationship has turned into and evolved to. And we're explaining to them issue after issue, implication after implication. And I can tell you that they're listening. And yes, it's going to help now that we have this election over with. And this election over with on Congress, Senate side, and the administration, we're going to be able to get a lot of things done now. And our relationship that we have built over the last 6 years, because of this PAC, because of contributions like the folks on this list here, folks here in your region, we're able to continue these relationships and build on them and continue to make a difference for all hoteliers. If we stop at just one bill that could affect all of us, that could cost us $10,000, $20,000 a property, that would be justifiable enough to join this PAC if that relationship helped us to get to that level. There's no guarantees in this world, and certainly this PAC is no guarantee of anything, but one thing it has done, it allows us a seat at the table. And that's really all we can ask, is from there, we'll communicate. We will explain, and then we won't stop until we get what we need, because we're the job creators in this world. I'm telling you, in this